8:38, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 89.7 WTN. Time for the crisscross. Chris Hand is back. Hello, Chris.
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
Well, I don't know about Joan, but I'm in my slippers, and
nice.
Me too.
I'm warm and comfy. My fireplace is on to the left of me, and I've had a lot more coffee than usual today because it's my home coffee.
I love it, man. There you go.
By the way, just so we're clear, I don't have an actual fireplace. It's like a faux fireplace down here.
Oh, I have one of those too.
Do you have one of those?
I have one on my my entertainment center has a neon light fireplace and it actually brings out heat.
Oh. Yes.
I have gas logs.
There you go.
There you go. Wait, what? What is that? Oh, it's Vladimir Zelensky checking in. Yeah, I was hearing Joan report on how Zelensky, and it was in my news today that I didn't get to. He is upset because he's not involved right now anyway in the conversations between Trump's team and Vladimir Putin. And I love what Trump said. Joan, I think you reported it. Somebody did. Where it's like, Donald Trump basically said, you know what, Zelensky, you've had 3 years to get something going with Russia. Step aside and let the adults talk.
Yep. 100%. Plus, wasn't there some elections that you scrapped that we need to get to as well?
That's exactly right,
Yes.
Chris Hand. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys like that?
I love it. Send him a message from America. Deal with it.
That's exactly. We need to send him. We need to send him a MAGA pacifier. See,
that's probably a thing.
You know what? That's what we need to do. You know what we need to do? We need to order millions of MAGA pacifiers and send them to the progressive in your life.
I love that idea.
Dark MAGA pacifiers too.
Dark MAGA pacifiers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, I don't know if you heard, Chris, but Kamala Harris has signed a big old deal with the Hollywood Talent Agency.
Oh.
And we were talking about this earlier, about how she has written that book and she got that $20 million book deal. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, so are they going to provide Kamala Harris with some talent, or how does that work? Because clearly we know that, she doesn't have any.
Yeah, I feel like you would have to. And isn't she eyeing the governor of California? Isn't that what her goal is moving forward?
I don't know if she had a thing for Gavin Newsom or not, but it kind of checks out. Oh, wait, you said an eye for the governorship. You said eye for the governor.
Yes,
I didn't.
She's actually the leading Democrat contender for the 2026 California governor race.
Just shows you how messed up the Democrats are.
It's awful. It's awful. And I think, is she still the leading presidential candidate for 2028?
As far as I know, she is.
I think she is, but I think part of that is that nobody else has come forward. And so now, Josh Shapiro from out there in Pennsylvania. So now the question is, if Kamala decides to run for governor in 26, then will she immediately turn around and say, oh, look, I'm the governor of California. Now I'm going to immediately start running for the presidency, which wouldn't surprise me in the least. If I remember right, didn't Barack Obama basically do the same thing? Where he
was a senator, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a senator, and it was only, I don't know how much time, a couple of years, and he ran for the presidency. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least. But, when I see those kinds of stories, I think, you know what, California they get what they deserve.
Yeah, honestly, elections have consequences. They're dealing with it right now. But it's just crazy to me. Did the Democrats have anybody for 2028 that you would be nervous about?
That's a great question. I would be nervous. I would be nervous about Josh Shapiro. Go ahead.
That's the only person I would be nervous about too. Yep.
I feel like he has a lot of skeletons in his closet, though.
How do you know?
Shapiro?
Yeah. I mean, have you heard the reports about that staffer that was stabbed and it was ruled as a suicide, and now they're going to be reinvestigating that under Shapiro's watch?
I remember something like that.
Yeah,
I remember something like that.
There was a staffer that was stabbed, and her name was Ellen Greenberg, and the family's private investigator is slamming how they called it a suicide. It was 20 stab wounds, and they ruled it a suicide.
20 stab wounds?
20 stab wounds, and it was ruled as a suicide. So it's a little fishy, if you ask me.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And it all kind of goes back to Josh Shapiro. So this came up during the presidential cycle, and it seems to be kicking up dust yet again. So I don't know. I don't believe in Josh Shapiro. I don't think he should scare anybody. And I also, I don't know, who else would it be? Wes Moore? That was a name that was floated around a bunch.
You know what? Governor of Maryland, right?
Yep.
Wes Moore is very good. I think that he's a great communicator. I don't know about how things are going in Maryland. Actually, I don't know, because Joan used to live in Maryland. So, I mean, do you know anything about Wes Moore?
He actually came in just as we were leaving. So I don't know about how he's running Maryland, but he has that profile that kind of fits Barack Obama. Like, he just entered politics at this level, and they're already floating him. We knew this as soon as he became governor, that they would start floating his name as a presidential candidate.
Well, again, he's I don't know if how he's doing legislatively, but I mean, for the Democrats, he fits a lot of the boxes. He's black. He is progressive. He is a great communicator, and I think that he is somebody that would be good. I think the Democrats, though, I think they've still got the DEI thing going for them. So I'm thinking about Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg is another one. They would love to be able to say, oh, Pete Buttigieg could be the first gay president, right? I mean, you can hear it. And they don't understand that every time you bring in somebody from the failed Biden presidency, then all of the crap that happened during the Biden presidency is up for discussion. So they need somebody like a Wes Moore. They need somebody like a Josh Shapiro, controversies and all, because they don't want to have to litigate or relitigate the Biden administration.
Could you imagine a J.D. Vance versus Pete Buttigieg debate?
Oh, my Lord.
It would be over before it started.
It would be. And, Buttigieg always gets that sweat on that upper lip. Have you ever noticed that with him?
Ew.
No,
gosh.
No, but now it's going to be one of those things I can't unsee.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he for whatever reason, I've always noticed that when he's giving speeches or if he's under hot lights, he's got a sweat thing going on up there. So he would not do well against a J.D. Vance. That's one of the more interesting things that actually Amy and I were talking about that. I think it was yesterday, where for the Republicans, and this was a conversation that we had on the morning show a few days ago, where who is going to be next for the Republicans? Is it going to be J.D. Vance? What other names are out there? And you've obviously got, although I do believe, and I like Ron DeSantis, I think that perhaps his time has passed him by. But you've got J.D. Vance, you've got Ron DeSantis, you've got, who's the other ones? Somebody help me. Who's on the list for the Republicans? I'm trying to recall some of the names.
Is Vivek still a possibility?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
But he's filing paperwork to be Ohio's governor in 2026.
That's why I asked.
So that's probably not going to happen.
Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I could see Rubio a little bit more, definitely more than DeSantis.
I think I heard Joan go, here's why I say Rubio, is because he was a senator, and he, as Secretary of State, it is my opinion, you guys can eviscerate me if you want, knock yourselves out. But right now, Marco Rubio has a more pivotal role than J.D. Vance does. Because as Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, when foreign policy right now is everything, well, not everything, but it's a very important thing with the Trump administration. The rest of the world is literally on fire, and Marco Rubio is going to be Donald Trump's right-hand man in handling all of that. So I would say that as much as I really like J.D. Vance, and of the two, I would still like J.D. Vance. I think that Marco Rubio, from his time in the Senate and as the Secretary of State, he would have a better resume than J.D. Vance. But it may not matter because J.D. Vance is an outstanding communicator.
No, yeah, it may not matter, but I think you're right. You look at the current state of the Trump administration, and it's Trump, Elon, Rubio, then Vance.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
yep.
But yeah, so it's going to be fun to see. I hope that the Democrats platform somebody like Jasmine Crockett. I think that's a route that they're going.
Could you imagine the DNC debates?
I just feel like she's on TV a lot lately. They're trying to make her, and she checks all those DEI boxes as well.
Oh,
giving her that platform.
Someone on the YouTube chat said Byron Donalds. Forgot about him.
Byron Donalds is good. Mm-hmm. I've always liked Byron Donalds. I think, though, that if you're looking at world stage, I think that you've got J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio is going to be above Byron Donalds. I think Byron Donalds is great. I think he's got an incredible future ahead of him. But I think right now the top two for me is going to be Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance.
Potential VP candidate?
It can't be overstated how much DeSantis screwed himself trying to run for president this past go round. He screwed himself. He could have walked into 2028 as the de facto nominee if he wanted to.
He could have. Actually, I mean, he could have been, we all had the conversations about DeSantis being the VP, and a lot of people said DeSantis doesn't need to be Trump's VP. He can stand on his own, whatever. But I would, and a guy who is a big fan of Ron DeSantis, you have a very good point. So, and I don't know, there's probably going to be more people. We got 4 years. There's going to be other folks that are going to be coming to the table. And I can't get over, just to rewind a little bit to Jasmine Crockett. Are they really, and they are they really trying to make her the centerpiece, the mouthpiece of the Democrat Party? Because she's got quite the mouth. I mean, she curses and
she's got the potty mouth.
Well, she's a potty mouth, and she's just, I mean, there's no other way to say it. She's not the most eloquent of people, and she screams and yells. And by the way, granted, we have our own people that might fit that bill. Marjorie Taylor Greene. We know that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett have gotten into it. Nancy Mace, a little bit. I think Mace is more eloquent, certainly, than Jasmine Crockett or Marjorie Taylor Greene. But if they want to make Jasmine Crockett the face and the mouth of the Democrat Party, go ahead and make our day. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah, it just seems like they are. I mean, you look at the Democrats. Who else do they have on the bench? I mean, I think you can only really identify three people, and it's Shapiro, Wes Moore, and then Jasmine Crockett.
You're gonna laugh at my other one, AOC.
AOC, yeah, I could see that.
She'll try to nudge her way in there.
I could see AOC.
I could see AOC, especially if she ended up like down the road if she ran for Senate. You know, maybe she would be able to grow within the party. I don't know.
Newsom. You guys are like skipping over Gavin, and he's groomed himself.
Yeah, but didn't he just like shoot himself in the foot with the fires and the response in California and just the state of California in general?
Yeah. Sometimes the worse they are, the more high profile they get, you know? It's like bad attention is better than no attention.
He was also buddy with Trump, which did not help him on the left side, at least.
Gavin Newsom?
Yeah, remember when they
played buddy when Trump went out for the fires. And you're right. That's a great point, KGB, is that Newsom buddied up to Trump, really kind of kissed the ring, actually, Chris, of Donald Trump. When Trump got off the plane, Newsom was like, "Oh, we're so glad you're here, and we need your help."
He waited outside the plane for 20 minutes, like a lost puppy.
That was right up there with Kamala Harris hanging out with Dick Cheney. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Look what that did for Kamala Harris. People were irate that Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney were hanging out with Kamala Harris. You remember this, Chris. You're the one that talked about it a lot. That ticked off the progressives to no end.
Yeah. Oh, let's go big tent politics, kind of mirroring what Trump does, except we'll bring in the warmongers. Let's do that.
That's exactly right.
By all means, you can have them. Sharon on the text line has taken offense to my statements on DeSantis. She says, "Shut up, Chris. I take great offense at your DeSantis derangement syndrome. Get over yourself." Wow. Do you think I have DeSantis derangement syndrome? Little DDS?
You know what?
You're a doctor? You're a dentist?
I think at one time, yeah, you were not liking DeSantis. And there are times, you and I talked about it on the air, where it was like, okay, the lifts and all the other things. But in looking back,
Was I wrong?
you were not wrong.
Listen,
not wrong.
That's all I'm
the
saying.
thing.
That's all I'm saying.
That's the thing about Chris Hand. You listen to Chris, and some people, not me, but some people might shake their hands. I don't know if you've been wrong about anything since you got here.
Oh, Dan, come on. I've been wrong plenty of times.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Do we need to give you a room?
Yeah, I've been wrong about stuff. I'll tell you when I'm wrong though. I don't have any problem being
What have
wrong.
you been wrong about? I'm now genuinely curious. What have you been wrong about?
I'd have to go back. But
See, hey, Joan,
there are definitely things that I've been wrong about.
Joan, I think Chris is wrong about being wrong.
Text line, do your thing.
There's 100% been things that I've been wrong about.
Need to do. Text line. What has Chris been wrong on?
There's been plenty. I'm sure that there's been plenty.
Well, you know what I say this with all love and respect for the super texters, but I've compared the super texters to spouses who or ex-spouses. They don't forget anything. So the super texters will let us know what Chris has been wrong about.
Oh, 2008 came in hot. Virginia didn't flip. I was very, very believing that Virginia would go red in the presidential election. You remember that?
There you go. Yep.
I was definitely wrong about that.
Yeah,
he's human after all.
Do you know who was closest? Remember when we did the whole thing about did we do this on the air? I can't remember now, but we talked about the Electoral College map. Remember that whole thing? And I actually got closest, I think, to of anybody. Do you guys remember that? No,
I don't.
You got the crickets there, KGB, because apparently everybody conveniently forgot when I was right.
Yeah, I don't recall that. I don't.
That's okay.
My wife texted me. My wife texted me, said you were definitely wrong about VA going red, and I could keep going. So
exactly.
My wife is happy to provide a list.
That is funny. All right, 8:55, Chris. Very quickly, what you got coming up?
All right, so today on the show, man, I got a lot to do because I got 2 days worth of show prep. We'll go through the Trump-Elon Hannity interview. We'll go through the press conference where Trump spent 4.5 minutes laying out all of the ridiculous spending that our government's been doing. Plus, we'll give you updates on the border. Tom Homan has been calling out AOC on every single network, and each of them are hilarious, so I'll bring you all that. Plus, health in America and what it looks like with RFK Jr. at the helm.
Also, the phone lines are open, 615-737-9986.